Good morning. The time now is 10 o'clock a.m. and we will be starting right now. As a good United Methodist preacher, I don't mind starting on time. Today, we are together in New Orleans and we are here so that we can share some information with the public because of its necessity. But before we get started with anything of great import, we want to let you know that we start off with prayer, as we are an ecumenically diverse as well as community-based organization. I'm going to ask my friend Imam, Rafeeq, Numan to come and offer us a prayer.
Let us all take our posture of prayer. In God's name, the merciful benefactor, merciful redeemer, all praise is due to God, the cherished sustainer of all systems of knowledge, most gracious, most merciful master of the day of judgment. Need to be worshipped in thine name we seek. Show us the straight way, the way upon those who restore that grace, not the way of those who wrath and burn upon those who go astray. Almighty God, you are aware that this country, this city, is in a crisis. We're coming before you seeking for your grace and your mercy and your guidance and your protection, that you will guide us on the path that will take and lead us, and we will not use the differences between us and define the way we see each other. Help us to be a people that will compliment those that have gone before us. Help us in all our endeavors, guide us and let guidance be to us, but to the things to obey thee, walk as they come, be mindful of their will. Amen.
Amen. Once again, good morning. I'm Reverend K.C. Roberson from Together New Orleans, pastor of People's United Methodist Church and Brookshaw Temple United Methodist Churches here in New Orleans. We're here today because our city's fire department is receiving a 10% budget cut, especially as it relates to what's going on in the last months. We're here because our firefighters are working under such great pressure under these furlough situations. Our garbage collectors are working under furlough in our city. Our health workers are during this pandemic under the most amount of stress of being furloughed. As our police officers and all city employees in this building right behind me are being furloughed, and we're very disappointed about some of the decisions as it relates to these things that are of great importance to us as citizens here in New Orleans. We're here because the City Planning Commission received a 36% cut to its personnel budget. I don't know about you, but I've tried to send plans through this city hall, and some of them are taking place over the span of 6 to 9 months. And to cut personnel even further, even puts a bigger burden on us. Our city sanitation department received a 31% cut. Our city coroner's office an 18% cut, again, during a pandemic. We're here because our community and its public institutions are facing a fiscal emergency. And in the midst of that fiscal emergency, our city council, our school board, and sheriff are about to decide whether or not to grant a $25 million corporate tax giveaway to a large national corporation who are not missing out on any of their profits. We have gathered here today with community leaders and elected officials to call upon the New Orleans City Council, our school board, our sheriff department to reject Folgers' request to be exempted from the property taxes all the rest of us pay. We are asking, demanding that our elected officials use the tax revenues to bring city workers back from furlough to end and restore the funded cuts to our essential workers. In a minute, we'll hear more about these exemptions from Reverend Shawn Anglim. Then we'll have a brief testimony from some of our community members and hear from 2 of our elected representatives, council members at large, Helena Moreno and State Representative Jason Hughes, who are here with us today. We're going to say it unequivocally. We need them and all of those who are elected to public office with a resounding result to reject the Folgers giveaway as a matter of common sense. It's a matter of priority. It's a matter of our values. Let's do it together. Reverend Anglim.
Good morning. Good to be with you. You ever feel like the rug just keeps getting pulled out from underneath your feet, that no matter how hard you work for your children's schools, no matter how much your property tax goes up, it's just never enough. You can't get ahead. Since 2000, Folgers has received 41 property tax exemptions, totaling $100 million. That's $35 million that my children and your children's public schools did not get. That's $23 million that our street and infrastructure didn't get. Anybody got a street that needs a little bit of repair out there? We can go on and on with that list. We are here today because now JM Smuckers, the parent company of Folgers, wants another $25 million property tax exemption. That would be $7 million more dollars that my children and your children's public schools do not get. That would be another $5 million that our streets did not get. Millions that our firefighters, our police departments did not get. We know that we all want a good community, and all of us are willing to work for that community. How many of you gave your public school additional funding through Giving Tuesday? We give, we want to give, we want to get ahead. And every time we make that step, it seems like we just feel that rug pulled out from under us. And we are facing $25 million rug underneath our feet that is about to be pulled from under our feet. And we are asking our council members to not allow this to happen. Thank you. And God bless.
Now I want to share with you just a few of our community members, as well as some of the people that are greatly impacted. We're going to first invite one of our New Orleans Fire Department members to come, Aaron Mischler. Then we'll have Evelyn Turner right here from our community, and Carolyn Center, who's also a member of the community. Then Andreanecia Morris. Hear them in that order, and then I'll announce our public officials.
Hi, my name is Aaron Mischler. I'm the president of the New Orleans Firefighters Association, and I'm out here today to say that it is the job of all the firefighters in this city to protect the lives and property of our citizens and our visitors that come to this city. With these budget cuts and furloughs that have been going on, it's hindered our ability to effectively and efficiently do our jobs. That's our duty. The duty of the elected officials in the building behind us is to provide us all the tools necessary to protect the lives of the citizens of this city, which with these cuts are not being done at this time. We've had, in the past month, 2 of our citizens have passed away in fire fatalities, and just last week in a fire in Treme, we had a young child who was burned from a fire that got out of control due to these cuts and closures. So I'm here to say that any money that is being left on the table due to these tax exemptions and tax giveaways is a failure of the duty of the people in the building behind us. Any money that is possibly available to this city to reverse these furloughs and these cuts to get essential workers back into these firehouses and on the streets protecting the citizens also during this pandemic must be done. These tax exemptions need to have a resounding no and be denied outright. Thank you.
My name is Evelyn Turner. I'm a resident of the Holly Grove, Carrollton community, and I feel strongly that we have an obligation to say no to Folgers Coffee's request for tax exemption. All our fire department, police department, all city services are being impacted. City employees wages are being reduced 10%, but their workload is not being reduced.
Yes.
I have a request in the city, at the city for acquiring a title. It's been months, and I'm concerned because I don't know how many other city services are being impacted this way. I feel strongly that our city officials must say no to Folgers Coffee.
Yes.
Caroline Center. I own a bed and breakfast in New Orleans. and I've been shut down and unable to operate since March, but I've continued to pay my property taxes, of course. But then I found out about Folgers, which is not shut down and has actually been very successful during the pandemic, not paying their property taxes, and makes me furious. I'm just a small business, my individual, but I do my part, and I'm just asking and expecting the Folgers should do the same thing as everybody else.
Andreanecia.
Good morning. My name is Andreanecia Morris, and I'm Executive Director of HousingNOLA, and we work to fight, or rather to end, the City of New Orleans' affordable housing crisis, the housing insecurity crisis that we're struggling with. And every day we get emails, phone calls, social media posts from families who are struggling every single day in this city to make ends meet, to pay their rent, to pay their mortgage. And that has gotten harder and harder and harder over the past few years. And one of the things that has increased that hardship are property taxes. The dramatic increase in property taxes that comes with the kind of cost explosion we have seen in the last few years. And those folks do not get any relief. Those homeowners who are now with COVID, because they've lost their jobs, because their hours have been cut, they are also now facing a foreclosure crisis where there's no relief in sight. And they will have to pay their taxes right around the time that the foreclosure, not relief, the foreclosure forbearances that they have gotten from Congress will expire. This is not acceptable. This is not how we want to value the people of New Orleans. This is not what we should do if we want to put housing first and make sure everyone is stabilized. So I want to thank the folks at Together New Orleans for having us here today and urge the City Council to reject this, because doing this at this time, giving this kind of relief to a major corporation when our citizens are struggling and can't expect any real relief doesn't make any sense. Thank you so much.
Now, one of the more important things that we're going to do is we're going to invite one of those council members who's at the leadership. We're calling on, I want to call her Reverend, but we want to call on our advocate, one who's showing and demonstrating leadership on the City Council, as one of the co-presidents of this City Council, to come and to offer what she can do. And I'm just imploring her to continue to advocate with her colleagues on the City Council to advocate that this particular measure be defeated. We want to welcome Council Member at Large, Council Member Helena Moreno.
So much for that introduction, and I'm very honored and proud to be standing here with the folks from Together New Orleans and of course other organizations as well. So thank you so much for inviting me to be with you. So as we stand here united opposed to these 6 tax exemptions, I think that we really have to ask ourselves about our priorities. Are we about helping out a major out-of-town corporation with a big financial favor, or are we about funding the city's major initiatives like public safety, like police, fire, and EMS? As you all know, we had a very difficult budget season. We are in a dire situation financially here. I'll just be honest with you. It's very difficult to have to furlough employees and have to tell them that you'll be getting reductions in your paychecks. It's incredibly difficult to say that because who are firefighters who are, telling us that they are having some potential problems with response times. Like, that is so hard. So, as we look at the ITEP exemption, we look at economic development. I just want to be absolutely clear that I am very much in support of economic development, and of course I want to create a really positive business climate here in New Orleans. But that should not include allowing for the City of New Orleans to be taken advantage of. The combination, and let me just say this, I want to make sure that the reporters who are here understand like what's happening. So the combination of all 6 exemptions before the council, these create less than 30 jobs, but they'll cost the city to lose what could be as much as $25 million in property taxes. So let that sink in. Is that really worth it? No. So here are the details. Folgers has 6 applications for property tax exemptions that have been submitted through the ITEP program, which is the Industrial Tax Exemption Program for the state. This program, because the governor allowed it to, now requires local approval. That's where the city council comes in. So, to be clear, these exemptions are not for future projects. These are for projects from the past that they now want retroactive exemptions on.
No.
Right. It doesn't make sense. No. So some of these actually go back several years. The total exemption for the past due taxes are roughly $11 million, and then moving forward, roughly 13 to 14 million over the next 10 years. In 2018, the City Council created special rules to consider ITEP exemptions, so that there really is a true benefit for the city, including job creation in return for the exemption. So if we put the projects on the books, it could go a long way, as I've mentioned, to aiding in this terrible fiscal crisis that we're in because of COVID, including reducing our public safety furloughs. At the end of the day, and I know that it's been mentioned before, homeowners and small business owners are not offered the luxury of being eligible for retroactive tax exemptions dating years back.
No, we're not.
Absolutely, but the state does allow for corporations to get these types of exemptions, but only if the local governing body approves. So I think if these set of exemptions were approved, the people of New Orleans would lose big. I don't think that it is worth it, and I will be voting no. I'm also going to be bringing forward a resolution that states that if these exemptions are denied, that the money realized from denial of these exemptions will be going first to public safety. So that means fire, police, and reducing those furloughs. Because to me, that is my top priority and not corporate giveaways. I also want to mention to you all who are here today, and of course to the reporters as well, that we've learned from the state that we have until January 15th to consider these exemptions, which means we can consider them this council meeting or the next council meeting, which is on January 14th. I am pushing to consider these this upcoming meeting on Thursday, because that's when we have a full council. To wait to consider them on the 14th means that we would not have a full council. We would only have 6 members. And I think that something this important should require the consideration of the full council and not to wait until one of the members. So once again, I just want to thank you all so much for standing with me, for being together, New Orleans. And for more importantly, for bringing this really important issue to the public, because it's a complicated tax issue, and sometimes in the complexities of these matters, the public loses out because they kind of just get passed over, and nobody really knows the details, and all of a sudden somebody gets an exemption, and nobody really knew about it, right? But because of you all, you're bringing it down to the people, letting them know what's going on. And now we are here.
We're here right now.
And we are ready to vote no on these exemptions. And now I'm going to go ahead and introduce my good friend, Jason Hughes, who is a state representative out of the New Orleans East area, and really just doing a tremendous job representing the people. My friend, Jason Hughes.
Good morning. Let me first just thank Together New Orleans for educating me, and in turn I'm able to educate the citizens of House District 100. I also want to thank the extraordinary leadership of my friend, Councilwoman at Large, Helena Moreno. I cannot reiterate enough, the building behind us, we have hundreds of men and women who are showing up every day, giving it their all, ensuring that essential city services continue to take place. They're working under a furlough. Around the corner, we have a firehouse. Up the street, we have a police station. These men and women courageously showing up every day, putting their lives on the line to protect us. they too are working under a furlough. And we are surrounded by schools where teachers are underpaid and our students are facing technological challenges due to COVID-19. And yet, we're considering an irresponsible $25 million corporate giveaway. And if that is not enough, in just a few days, residents across our city will begin to receive tax bills in the mail.
Yes.
Doesn't matter if you're furloughed, doesn't matter if you're unemployed, doesn't matter if you're recovering from COVID. January 31st, you'll be required to pay those tax bills.
Yeah.
You'll have two choices, pay up or risk going to tax sale. During this consequential moment in our city, everyone has to put some skin in the game.
Yes.
And we cannot continue to carry the city of New Orleans on the backs of our people. And so with that, I stand in solidarity with my friend Councilwoman Moreno and Together New Orleans, and urging the New Orleans City Council and the Orleans Parish School Board to reject these irresponsible corporate giveaways and do not allow Folgers to be the corporate Grinch that steals Christmas.